on the channel. If you've ever dreamt of owning a fire-breathing superbike, felt that pull towards incredible speed and razor-sharp handling, you've probably also had a little voice in the back of your head asking a very practical question. Just how much is this dream going to cost me to insure? It's the million-dollar question, or perhaps the several thousand-pound question, that every aspiring superbike owner has to face. Today, we're diving deep into the world of superbike insurance, specifically focusing on the UK market, to give you a clear, honest picture of what to expect. We'll break down all the factors that go into your premium, from the bike itself to your personal details, and even explore some insider tips on how you might be able to bring that cost down. So, whether you're about to buy your first liter bike or you're just curious, stick around. Let's peel back the layers and demystify the cost of insuring a superbike. First things first, let's get one thing straight. Insuring a superbike is not cheap. There's no sugarcoating it. We're talking about machines that can easily exceed 180 miles per hour, with price tags that can rival a family car. To an insurance company, that combination screams high risk of theft, high risk of a very expensive accident, and unfortunately, a higher statistical risk of serious injury. These companies aren't just plucking numbers out of thin air. They're using vast amounts of data. And that data tells them that superbikes are involved in more costly claims than your average commuter bike. So, when they calculate your premium, they're pricing in that potential for a large payout. Think of it from their perspective. The cost to replace a crashed Ducati Panigale V4 is astronomical compared to a little 125cc runaround. That difference is the fundamental reason we see such high insurance quotes. So, what are the biggest factors that send your premium soaring? The most obvious one is the bike itself. We're talking engine size, power output, top speed, and value. À 200 horsepower, 25,0 livres sterling. Superbike is naturally going to be in a much higher insurance group than a 50 horsepower middleweight. The make and model matter, too. Certain brands are statistically stolen more often or are more expensive to repair due to parts availability and specialized labor. Your brand new, top-of-the-range Japanese or Italian superbike is at the peak of this pyramid. It's powerful, desirable to thieves, and expensive to fix. These are the three main triggers for an underwriter when they see a quote request come through their system. It's not just about how fast it can go, but how much it costs to replace or repair if something goes wrong. Next up, and just as important, is you, the rider. Your age is a huge factor. Younger riders, especially those under 25, are statistically more likely to be involved in an accident. It's a harsh reality, but the data doesn't lie, so insurers charge a higher premium to reflect that risk. Then there's your riding history. How many years have you held your full, unrestricted license? Have you built up a solid no claims bonus? A long history of safe riding, proven by a healthy no claims bonus, is one of your most powerful tools for lowering your premium. It tells the insurer that you're a responsible rider. On the flip side, any claims, accidents, or convictions on your license will have the opposite effect. Speeding points, in particular, are a massive red flag for an insurer when you're trying to get cover for a machine built for speed. They'll see it as a sign of risky behavior. Let's not forget about where you live. Your postcode plays a massive role in determining your insurance cost. If you live in a dense urban area with a high crime rate, especially a high rate of vehicle theft, your premium will be significantly higher than for someone living in a quiet, rural village. Insurers use postcode data to assess the risk of your bike being stolen or vandalized when it is parked up. And it's not just about theft. Areas with more traffic and more complex road systems also have a higher frequency of accidents and that risk is also factored into your quote. So, two identical riders with identical bikes can receive vastly different quotes based solely on their home address. It's a postcode lottery, and unfortunately, if you live in a high-risk area, you will feel it in your wallet. So, let's talk numbers. This is where it gets tricky, because there is no one-size-fits-all answer. A quote is intensely personal. However, we can look at some general ballpark figures to give you an idea. For a relatively young rider, say in their mid-20s, living in a city with little to no claims bonus, trying to insure a brand new superbike like a BMW S1 ORR or a Yamaha R1, you could be looking at a premium of several £1,000s. It's not unheard of for quotes to be £3,000, £4,000, or even more. Now, take that same bike, but get to 45-year-old rider with 24 years riding experience, a maximum no claims bonus, living in a low-crime rural area, and storing the bike in a locked garage. That premium could drop dramatically, perhaps to under £1,000, maybe even closer to the £500, £700 range. This massive variance shows just how much your personal circumstances influence the final price. The key takeaway is that the range is huge, from eye-watering to almost manageable. Now, for the good news. You are not powerless in this situation. There are concrete steps you can take to actively lower your insurance premium. First and foremost, security. This is your number one weapon. The more secure your bike is, the less of a theft risk it presents. A locked garage is the gold standard. If you don't invest in high-quality 30 devices, we're talking heavy-duty chains, ground anchors, disc locks with alarms, and a tracker. A GPS tracker can make a huge difference, as it massively increases the chance of recovery if the bike is stolen. Make sure you declare all these security measures to your insurer. They will often provide a discount for them. Don't skimp on security. The upfront cost will likely pay for itself in insurance savings over a year or two. Another great strategy is to consider your usage. Be honest about how many miles you'll actually ride in a year. If you only plan to use the bike for sunny weekend blasts, don't select a policy that covers you for 10,000 miles of annual commuting. A lower annual mileage directly translates to a lower premium because, simply put, less time on the road means less risk of an accident. Also, think about the level of cover you need. While third-party only might seem like the cheapest option, it's often a false economy with a superbike. The cost to repair or replace your own bike after an accident would be financially crippling. Fully comprehensive cover is almost always the sensible choice. And sometimes, surprisingly, it's not that much more expensive. It's always worth getting quotes for all levels of cover to compare. Thinking outside the box can also save you money. Advanced rider training, for example. Courses like the ones offered by the Institute of Advanced Motorists IAM or ROSPA demonstrate a commitment to safe and skilled riding. Many insurers recognize these qualifications and offer a discount to riders who have passed them. It not only makes you a better, safer rider, but can also save you money year after year. Another tip is to consider adding an older, more experienced named rider to your policy, like a parent or partner with a clean license. This can sometimes lower the overall perceived risk and bring the premium down. Budbecar main rider. Lying about? This is a type of fraud called fronting and can invalidate your insurance entirely. Finally, the golden rule. Shop around. Never, ever accept the first quote you get, and don't just stick with your renewal price out of loyalty. Use multiple comparison websites. They are your best friend in this process. But don't stop there. Once you have the cheapest quote from a comparison site, call that insurer directly, and also call a few specialist motorcycle insurance brokers. Brokers have access to deals that might not appear online and can sometimes negotiate a better price on your behalf, especially if you have a slightly unusual profile. It takes a bit more effort, but spending an afternoon making calls can literally save you hundreds, if not thousands, of pounds. Be prepared with all your details and be polite. It can go a long way. So, to wrap it all up, yes, insuring a superbike in the UK can be expensive, sometimes shockingly so. The cost is driven by the bike's power and value, and heavily influenced by your age, experience, and where you live, but it's not a fixed price. By investing in security, being smart about your policy details, improving your skills with advanced training, and most importantly, by diligently shopping around, you can find a more manageable premium. The dream of owning a superbike doesn't have to be shattered by the insurance quote. It just requires a bit of research, planning, and strategic thinking. I hope this has given you a much clearer picture of what's involved and armed you with the knowledge to get the best deal possible. Riding a superbike is one of the most exhilarating experiences you can have. And with the right approach, you can make sure the insurance is a manageable part of that journey. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our future content. Ride safe, and I'll see you in the next one.